We are only 1 week out from the Rome Half Marathon, and this will be my last race before I enter the off-season of 2024. I am super excited not only to race at the Rome Half Marathon, but also just to experience the city as a whole. It will be my first time visiting Rome, so I am super excited about seeing what the place has to offer. But before we enter race week, we have the final session tomorrow, which I have planned to be a little bit of a fartlek session. So I think we are going to do 3 minutes on, 1 minute off for about 1 hour. So I am really looking forward to seeing what the body's got. During the week leading up to today, I have just been trying to get back into training because last week I was of course not running that much. I only ran a few kilometers on the Saturday and Sunday because I was recovering from the Andersen Marathon, which by the way went super great. So if you're interested in that, I would highly recommend watching my video from that race. But then the intent of training this week was trying to ease back into training without overdoing it, because I am of course very worried about not overdoing after such a hard effort at the Andersen Marathon. But still, I was down at the track on Tuesday just to test the form, and I didn't have any expectations because I knew it was my first session after the Andersen Marathon. So I was just down there just seeing what the legs actually had to offer. But I must say I was really positively surprised because I was down doing 8 times 1 kilometers, and I ran them in an average pace of 3 minutes and 25 seconds, which actually surprised me a bit because I was trying to hold back and not overdoing it. I will not say that it was easy. It was actually quite hard because I felt that my heart rate and my cardiovascular system was just getting back up after 1 week of just laying down flat after the marathon. But with that said, I also felt that running 3:25 was actually a bit more comfortable than I had first expected it to be. Then 2 days later, on the Thursday, I was out doing 5 times 40 seconds in just a fast speed, and then doing 10 minutes of something which I think would be between marathon and half marathon effort. And I did those for 2 sets. So 2 times 5 the 40 seconds and 10 minutes. And as you can see, I was doing the first 10 minutes a bit too quickly. I ran them in a 3 minutes and 38 seconds per kilometer pace, and that was maybe a bit too fast. I quickly realized because I was out in some crazy weather, running in quite an intense rainstorm. So then I adjusted it back a bit in the second 10-minute interval to a 3 minute and 44 second pace, and that felt significantly better because I wasn't out trying to kill myself or anything. This week is just about me getting back in form in a comfortable way. So tomorrow I don't have any expectations of the pace. I'm just going to run those 3-minute intervals and 1 minute rest in somewhat hard effort, but still quite comfortable. The objective is for tomorrow is just getting back out, doing a bit hard efforts before we enter race week. And then I think I will taper down just a little bit, doing some shorter sessions next week to have hopefully a bit fresh legs for the last race of the season. But I will say after the race at Andersen, I have just been cooling down a bit and easing off just a little bit. So my intent at Rome is still to go out hard and have fun, but I don't have any expectations of any pace. Now I think it's time for me to end my rambling, and then I will just see you tomorrow before we head out for the fartlek session. I always prefer to have a good breakfast before I head out to do longer sessions. But I also have to have a bit of time to let my body digest the food before I can head out and do a hard training run. if I eat a substantial amount of food. And today we are headed out quite quickly after waking up because I'm going to work in just a few hours. So I don't really have time to sit down and eat a substantial amount of breakfast and let it digest. And in these situations, I like to just have some simple sugars in form of drink mix, so I can top up with a little extra energy before we head out for the run. But this is just something I can drink and then go straight out and run, so I don't have to let my body digest it compared to if I ate a big bowl of oatmeal or something similar. So the plan is that I'm just going to drink my drink mix and do a bit of activation exercises, and then we are headed out for today's fartlek session. 22 kilometers done in 1 hour and 33 minutes at a pace of 4 minutes and 7 seconds per kilometer. So now I will head inside and get a good breakfast, then I will head to work and see you afterwards. Job done. And before I let you go for today, I just quickly wanted to give a little recap of the run that we did earlier today. And as I mentioned, it was 15 times 3 minutes on and 1 minute off. And as you can see on the screen, I did an average pace of 3 minutes and 38 seconds for all the 3-minute intervals. And I'm pretty satisfied with that, especially because I was just out there with the intent of doing some hard work and not being too fixated on paces at all. And considering it's only 14 days since the Andersen Marathon, I actually also felt pretty strong. So very positive about what happened today. And I would also note that this is a very effective workout because out of the 1.5 hour I was out there with warm-up and cool-down, I got 45 minutes of some pretty decent work. So very satisfied about this type of workout. And a great note to end off this week leading into race week next week. And when we are talking about race week, I wanted to give a little bit of insight of what I've been thinking, because during this week I intended just to try to get back into training, doing some little bit lighter sessions and experimenting with how the body feels, getting a little bit more mileage in during the week. And I actually feel really good. I think I end off about 90 kilometers during this week with like 3 sessions. So actually quite a good amount of work considering the time since Andersen. And my plans for next week is that I'm not going to fully taper like I did up to the Andersen Marathon, but I think I will just keep my sessions on the Tuesday and Thursday fairly short and try to keep my mileage up as much as possible leading into the Rome Half Marathon. Besides all that, I just want to say that I really hope you enjoy following me through all my running adventures. And as the last thing that I have to do today is just that I want to wish you a great rest of the day. Take care.